Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CRMA video session 221. So basically in today's video, we will actually understand how we can write the SAQL statement when the filter condition comes into picture. We have understood the concept related to SAQL. We have understood line by line how things goes about. Like we started with how we can find the count of rows. Okay, we started with how we can find the sum of annual revenue, and then we gradually progress towards the dimensions, like how we bring certain dimensions. Like if I talk about the account itself, like industry type, and how we write that SAQL. It's a simple steps. I know something you can already get on the backend, but we have to develop this practice step by step. And trust me, as we progress further, things will become relatively easier for you. Then we also dealt with dates, with the group by how we do that, and then the sorting, how that happens. And yeah, right now we will understand about the filters, how it happens. Okay. So I'm coming to this analytics studio. I'm opening that same data set with which I was dealing with till now. And here, if I go for count of rows, and if I, let's say, go for industry, and here what I will do is I will go for filtration. Let's say I go for industry itself. Okay, so let's say I go for, or let's say I go for something like type. So for example, I go for type equal to partner. Okay, now we will understand how this SQL is working in the backend. So what I did, I just displayed the count of rows for industry, but the filter I put on is type equal to partner. Okay, so now we will, and let me write this. Okay, so here what I will do is I will again copy this data set, and here I will just write this condition that show all the account records, okay, grouped by industry, filter for, okay, filter for type equal to partner. Okay, something like that. Now here, of course, I'm clearing the sort. We will not deal with sort as of now. Okay, uh, so the count of was industry, and I'm putting the type. Now let's go to SQL and check how this code is written. Now the good thing to notice about it, or the important thing to notice over here is, till now we were loading and we were doing the group by, right? So we were loading the data set, and the second line was always a group by. Now when you put a filter, your second line will be the filter. Okay, so the second line which you see right now, this is the one, q equal to filter q by, and whatever is the filter, so type double equal to, right, in double quotation you write that value. Okay, and then of course it's same as it is, group q by industry, for each you generate that and you put the limit. Okay, important to notice, show all the records grouped by industry only. Fine, so I will see only the list of industries, right? But filter for type equal to partner, that is something to note down, and this is the whole query. So just important to remember is the second line. Now we have to write filter q. So filter is that keyword which helps you to filter out the records, and q by, and you just give that field name in single quotes and double equal to, and you give the value. Okay, so that is about this one. Now what I will do, I will try to write this one. Okay, so this is the condition which I have written on the top. So q equal to load, q equal to load. I will write this particular data set name. That is fine. Sorry. And now comes the interesting part. Q equal to filtered q by. So I will give filter q by type and double equal to. I will write in double quotation partner. Okay. Will give us semicolon, and here q equal to, for each q generate q dot industry as industry. Okay, comma count of q as a, and finally q equal to limit q 2000. Okay, now let's check it one by one. So q equal to, I'm loading this data set. Q equal to filter q by type equal to partner. Q equal to for each q, q equal to for each q generate q dot industry as industry, count of q as a, and finally this limit. Okay, now let's see if this works out or not. Okay, so I will go to this SAQL mode directly. I will just paste it over here and I will just okay, I think if you remember, I missed one thing. Okay, one thing I missed actually. I think it will actually, yeah. So basically, there's an issue. I missed one thing, and that is the group. Okay, so I missed the group. What it will not display the list of industries. Then you got my point. So you have to group it by to get the list of the industries. So that's why it's not displaying the list of industries. So here I will write Q equal to group Q by uh, industry, of course. Okay, that is fine. So this is one part I missed. You learn from your mistakes, that's fine. So yeah, now it should be fine. If you go to group Cuba industry, and now let me just do it over here. Okay, so this kind of thing, I mean, we will undergo this. So it works when you come to values table, like in the table format you can see, but in chart format you won't be able to see. So now if I go to chart mode, it's completely showing me everything. Okay, instead of I can like count offers, but that's not a big deal. That is completely fine. Okay, so now these two are matching actually. If you see, cool, the number of records are same, that means the code is correct. So that's about the filter. So once the loading part is done, the next part comes is the filtration part, what are we going to filter by, and then comes the group by when it comes to the chart mode. Let's try a few more filters. Now what we will do, we will try with something like measure, maybe. Let's see. So what I will do, I will go for sum of annual revenue, and under bars I will select this particular industry itself. That's not an issue. And let me clear the sorting. I'm not interested in sorting as of now. So that's fine. And once I go to filter, I will go for annual revenue right now, okay, as a filter. And what I will do is uh, equals, okay. You can try a lot of things, but let's say I go for is not null, okay. So I am going for is not null. So here the condition is the annual revenue is not null, okay. So that's the thing. And I'm going, so basically I'm displaying the sum of annual revenue grouped by industry, and the annual revenue is not null. Fine. So let me just write this condition. And I'm copying this dataset name, that is fine. And I will hide the previous one, okay? I won't see that. And we will try this out, okay? So with this thing, now let's see how the query is being generated in the backend, and we will study this and we will write it on our own right, okay? So of course, the first step we can write it, that's not an issue. Q equal to filter Q by, as you can see, it's written annual revenue and you are just writing in plain English, it's not null, that's it. So just in plain English, we write it's not null. And finally, we are grouping by industry and we are generating this one, okay? So that's how it is. Just we are writing filter Q annual revenue is not null. So whichever industry, which will be having that particular value is not, I mean, which is having null, that will be excluded basically, okay? It doesn't make sense, I feel, because if you are anyhow writing is not done, maybe I could have shown count of rows. That would have made more sense, I guess. So what I will do is, instead of sum of annual revenue, I will go for count of rows, because sum of annual revenue, if you are grouping by is not null, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so here it will make sense for sure. Okay, now we can check it. So maybe I can just change it to display records, display records, display account records. Okay, display account records group by industry filtered for annual revenue is not null. Okay, that filter is fine, but I'm doing a group by. Now, of course, you can always cross check whether this is coming correctly or not. Okay, so here what you can do is you can go for the data export. Okay, sorry, it got open three times. Here, what I will do is like maybe I can write select. Okay, this is one thing. Now, what I will do is quickly I will write one more query where I just want to see what are the null values. Okay, so here I will just write comma id comma this one. I don't need the group by atlas. This is an SOQL query which I'm writing, that is Salesforce of the query language, just to see like which are the blank values I have for. I'm sorry, I have to also bring the amount. Okay, so I will not amount. I'm sorry, that's annual revenue. So let me bring the annual revenue and we will check what are those records which are having blank value. Now, as you can see, like I can see electronics is already there. Okay, so electronics is there. And let's see if we have some other blank values for annual revenue. Oh, okay, these are anyhow blank. So what I feel is when the industry is there, one of the blank values is for electronics. Okay, now we will see the count of electronics over here. So what is the count of electronics? You see 43. Now let's check over here actually. Fine. So we will check over here what is the count for electronics. For electronics, it's showing 43 itself. Okay, that's strange because I have a blank value. So annual revenue is not null. That is fine. Where annual revenue is null. Okay, here it is showing 43 as well. Let me see if I can get the annual revenue. Okay, so here basically the electronics, it is showing me 43 records, and here also if I see for electronics, it is showing me 43 records. Okay. Yeah, we will check this one, like what is that thing, because I've given the annual revenue is not null. So basically it should have shown me the null values, but maybe I will then discuss it in the later. But as you can see, like this is the way to write, like you filter out by annual revenue is not null, then you're grouping by industry, and finally you are providing the count of rows. Okay, so this is the way to go about it. Here of course we have annual revenue. Okay, so that's the thing, but we need to write this query, so we will check how to do that. So here once again, or maybe we can do it in the further sessions. Okay, but in this manner you can check for other filters also. So like right now if I go to this, and here for example again if I go for industry. Okay, and if you come to filters, here basically for annual revenue you can also put any other values. For example, you write less than, let's say I write less than, I give some values for example. Okay, and I click on apply. So the number of records got reduced. So here basically we will be able to see that. Okay, that's the way to go about. Yeah, that's it about this one. I hope you got it, and yeah, we will check like what is happening with that is not null part maybe in the next video. But this is the way, like here if it is less than, it's just giving me less than, and others remain same. We can just skip the order by fine, and of course we can try in this manner other things as well. So I will write for the major one, the SQL part in the next video, but we need to just cross check and see how things are working in the backend for each of the filters of measure. So for measures, you have a lot of options. We can just cross check one by one itself. Okay. So yeah, for example, you can check something like between also. That is fine. So if I go for annual revenue, if I go for between these values, let's say I keep some random values, for example, 50,000. Okay. So here, if I click on apply, now if you see in the backend, this is how the query looks like. Fine. So yeah, we will practice on this one in the next video. And yeah, that's it about this one. Thank you.